Predicative clauses: whose, whom, where. The predicative clause. The predicative clause functions as part of the predicate and usually stands after the linking verb be. The problem is that he is rude. The question is where I can find enough money for my project. This is what he said to her. This is how it happened. Object clause. Have you seen those people who we met on holiday? You shouldn't believe everything that you read in the newspaper. The house that we rented in London was fully furnished. The food was definitely the thing which I enjoyed most about our holiday. Sometimes we use whom instead of who, when the relative pronoun is the object. Have you seen those people whom we met on holiday? When the relative pronoun is object of its clause, we sometimes leave it out. Have you seen those people we met on holiday? You shouldn't believe everything you read in the newspaper. The house we rented in London was fully furnished. The food was definitely the thing I enjoyed most about the holiday. Warning. The relative pronoun is the object of the clause. We do not repeat the object. Have you seen those people who we met on holiday? The house that we rented in London was fully furnished. The food was definitely the thing I enjoyed most about our holiday. As object of a preposition. When the relative pronoun is the object of a preposition, we usually put the preposition after the verb. You were talking to a woman. Who was the woman who you were talking to? My parents live in that house. That is the house that my parents live in. You were talking about a book. I haven't read it. I haven't read the book which you were talking about. When the relative pronoun is the object of a preposition, we usually leave it out. Who was the woman you were talking to? That's the house my parents live in. Sometimes we use whom instead of who. Who was the woman whom you were talking about? When we use whom or which, the preposition sometimes comes at the beginning of the clause. I haven't read the book about which you were talking. We can use the possessive form whose in a relative clause. I always forget that woman's name. That's the woman's whose name I always forget. I met a man whose brother works in Moscow. As object. We saw the latest Harry Potter film, which we really enjoyed. My favorite actor is Marlon Brando, who I saw in On the Waterfront. We can use whom instead of who as object. My favorite actor was Marlon Brando, whom I saw in On the Waterfront. Attributive clause. Attribute clause perform definition function in the sentence and answer to what and which. They have connection with the main clause by conjunctive words, pronouns who, whose, which, that, and adverbs when, where, why. I have found the book that I was looking for. The man who is standing at the window is my brother. My friend, whose car you have just seen, is a famous artist. Finally, I have found the glasses, that I was looking for. Adverbial clauses. 1. Adverbial clause of time. An adverb clause of time shows when something happens. It is usually introduced by time adverbs. Examples are before, after, as, when, while, until, as soon as, since, no sooner than, as long as, etc. Read the examples given below. I always take a bath before I go to bed. Will you wait here until I'm ready? I wasn't at home when he came to see me. Do not disturb me when I am busy with my work. As soon as she finishes that project, she started working on the next. After I have finished my work, I will accompany you to the park. Notes. An adverbial clause of time can come before or after the main clause. When it comes before the main clause, we usually separate it with a comma. Commas are not necessary when the adverb clause goes after the main clause. Whenever I think of her, my eyes get misty. My eyes get misty whenever I think of her. Tense. If you are talking about something that's yet to happen in the future, use the present tense in the adverb clause and the future tense in the main clause. I will start when I'm ready, not I will start when I will be ready. I will not go until I get my money back, not I will not go until I will get my money back. The adverbial clause of place. 2. The adverbial clause of place indicates the place about which the verb talks. The adverbial clause of place starts with where, wherever, whereas, etc. Examples. I have put it where I can find it again. In this sentence, the clause where I can find it again indicates the place where it is put. They can stay where they are. In this sentence, the adverb clause where they are indicates the place where they can stay. In the following sentences, the adverb clauses of place have been colored blue. Wherever you live, I will come to that place to live. He led the caravan wherever he wanted to go. You can paste it wherever you like to be. Let him be arrested wherever he may be found. Let us go to where they asked us to wait. 3. Adverbial clause of manner. We use adverbial clause of manner to modify a verb in the main clause and to tell how an action takes place. Subordinate conjunctions, as if, as so, as. Example. The boy speaks as if he is sick. As if he is sick, the boy speaks. 4. Adverb clause of condition. We use adverb clause of condition to modify a verb in main clause and to tell the condition that an action takes place or someone does something. Subordinating conjunctions. If, whether, if not, unless, supposing that, provided that, in the conditions that, as long as that. Example. I will commit suicide unless you love me. Unless you love me, I will commit suicide. 5. Adverb clause of concession. We use adverb clause of concession, contrast, to modify a verb in main clause, and it is introduced by below written subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions. Though, however, even though, even if, although, so, in spite of, the fact that, despite that, whether or, granted that, whoever, whatever, whichever, no matter what, whereas, while. Example: I have never committed crime, although I am poor. Although I am poor, I have never committed crime. 6. Adverb clause of cause, reason. We use adverb clause of cause, reason to modify a verb in main clause and to tell the cause that an action takes place. Subordinating conjunctions: because, as, for, that. Example: I come here because I want to meet you. Because I want to meet you, I come here. She is so hungry that she has lunch early. That she has lunch early, she is so hungry. Subject plus verb plus such plus nouns plus that plus subject plus verb plus complement. 7. Adverb clause of purpose. We use adverb clause of purpose to modify a verb in main clause and to tell the aim that someone does something or something happens. Subordinating conjunctions: so that, in order that. Example: I tell him every day in order that he can remember. In order that he can remember, I tell him every day. Remember, sometimes we can use so as to, in order to stand instead of so that, in order that. Sentence plus so that, in order that, plus subject, plus verb, plus complement. Sentence plus so as to, in order to, plus verb, plus complement. Example: I bring my dictionary with me in order that I can check. I bring my dictionary with me in order to check. 8. Adverb clause of result, consequence. We use adverb clause of result, consequence, to modify a verb in main clause and to tell the result that someone does something or something happens. Subordinating conjunctions, that, is used to recognize adverb clause of result. Subject plus verb plus so plus adjective, adverb, plus that plus subject plus verb plus complement. Example: she acts such a rude manner that no man loves her. That no man loves her, she acts such a rude manner. Let's have some trial test now. You have to choose right answer. His parents disapprove. He said he won't go to university. A. Even though. B. Until. C. As if. D. Despite. E. Unless.